Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. My name is Laika, and as usual, I try my best to provide you with the latest information on how you can immigrate abroad, how you can find your work permit, whether you need a work permit, just everything that you need in order to be able to immigrate and provide for your family. I'm also an enthusiast for employment, so I try my best to provide you with other means of earning, like remote jobs and earning money online, so that you're able to gain financial independence. So today I would like us to speak about Sweden. What is there to know about Sweden? Do you need a work permit? Can you get a holiday working visa? All that. If you're interested in working in Sweden, then stay with me and I'm going to try my best to provide you with the latest information on how you can do that. So yeah, come with me. When it comes to working in Sweden, the situation is not very different from any other country. You need to have an offer of employment when you are in your country, and then after that you can immigrate. This is not the same for people who are outside Africa or outside the third world country, as we are called. It only applies to people in the third world. There's something called a holiday working visa. Unfortunately, this is not available for people from Africa. It's only available for people from Uruguay, Chile, Hong Kong, Canada, Australia, Japan, New Zealand. So if you're outside of these countries, then unfortunately the holiday working visa does not apply to you. And it all goes with bilateral agreements, just everything that countries agree with each other on what they can provide. So that one is not one of the things that our leaders have been able to do for us as Africans. So let's see how you can find your work permit. Which are the websites that you'll use in order to be able to find work? Because some of them would be better than others, but I'm going to list all of them for you. And basically everything that you need to do from the moment you start applying for work to the moment you actually immigrate. So stay with me to the end of the video. Now, just like with any other country, when it comes to Sweden, the most important or valuable thing for you is having an offer of employment from a Swedish employer. You are going to get this when you are still within your country, in Africa, in Kenya, and then after that you are going to be able to apply for your work permit, and then you're going to leave your country when you have your work permit at hand. So the first things to note is that the Swedish Immigration Agency, which I'm going to write here, is going to be able to provide you with all the information and all the documents that you need to provide. So you don't need to ask, like, what do I need? What are the requirements? After you've gotten your offer of employment, they're going to tell you everything that you need to provide. And as usual, they say, as long as you filled in the correct information and you've provided them with the right documents, then your decision will be very quick. The best way that I can categorize working in Sweden, or mostly in any other country, but this time we're just specifically speaking about Sweden, is you can either go as a skilled worker or an unskilled worker. For unskilled, I'm going to look at the seasonal. You can apply for a seasonal work permit, and this means you're going to do a job that is less than 90 days. If your offer of employment is for less than 90 days, then you're going to apply for a seasonal work visa. So once you get that, you are going to be able to immigrate, finish the contract, finish the period of time that you need to work there, and then go back to your country, and then you can be able to apply for another one. The other one is the skilled work. This is where I'm an engineer, I'm an IT specialist, and I need to work as an IT specialist. So you go directly and you apply to companies that are giving you a vacancy in those fields. So some people might decide, I'm an engineer, but I want to go as a seasonal worker. Sometimes because when you're from Africa, your papers maybe are not looked at the same way, and you're just thinking, well, I just need to find a way out of this. So you start by applying for the seasonal work permit. You go work maybe as an apple picker, as a berry picker, and then after that you can see ways to improve yourself. Some of these countries actually hire you when they know that you have work experience in a different country or an EU country, for example. So that's a good place to start. And I'm not telling you to go and apply for a seasonal work permit if you know you are capable of another. And I'm just telling you, these are the options for you. You have to decide for yourself what you would like to do. So you can go as a seasonal worker, or you can go as a highly skilled worker. That means a job that you specifically know that you are experienced in, and that a Swedish employer is going to pick you. Because sometimes when you apply for work, by the way, some other people may not have applied for it, People may have just seen it and thought, oh, I'm not going to get that. And then you end up being the only applicant or one of 10, and you turn out to be the best, and then you're picked. So please make it a habit to just apply for work when you see a vacancy that suits in with your experience. Because I know some people are employed currently in Kenya. We're all in different situations. Some people are just looking to improve what they've got already. So not everyone is unemployed. For the ones who are currently unemployed, you might decide, okay, let me start with the seasonal work, and then after that I can go and find a permanent job. So yeah, just explore your options, think, decide, and then act. That's the best way for you to be able to go about this. One important thing to note is that when it comes to getting a work permit in Sweden, the employer must have advertised it to the EU and the Swedish citizens for a period of 10 days. If they've not found someone, this information is important because it really matters the number of days that a vacancy has been posted. So when you are applying for a job that says it was posted 15 days ago and it says no Swedish citizens allowed, it means that it's already surpassed the period of time that the Swedish people were supposed to apply anyway, or the EU people were supposed to apply. So you feel free to go and put in your application as well. Maybe the employer has not found the right person in their country, and they can prove to the government that you are the right person because you've applied after the period of 10 days. So I'm not saying don't apply. Put in your application and then see what happens or see what comes back. Most of these employers do tend to come back anyway. And once you're valuable, they're not going to let you go. They're going to extend your visa, and that's the best route to permanent residency. Now, I'm always an enthusiast when it comes to working legally in countries. I believe that at some point, if I'm tired of a country, I like to feel that I can go home and maybe leave and go to another country, not just be stuck in one country as an illegal immigrant. That's why I'm always speaking about the legal ways to do these. Now, if you're looking for a way like you can do like a black hat trick and all that, I'm sorry, but I like to provide you with information for you to go through things correctly. Now, for you to get a seasonal work permit, you need, of course, to have a valid passport. You need to have a job offer from a Swedish employer who's going to give you the job as a temporary or a seasonal worker. You need to have access to accommodation. So this can be something that you'll discuss with your employer during the interview, and then they're going to tell you this and that, and you're going to ask here and there on how you're going to find your accommodation. You also need to have health insurance. So this is something that you need to note down so that if you get the offer of employment, you know that you're going to buy insurance. And then, of course, you need to show that you intend to leave at the end of your contract. Now, what helps is when you've worked in other places or in other countries and you've left, then the country automatically trusts you. But when it's the first one, you might need to tell them you might need to actually tell them that you intend to leave at the end of your contract. Now, you might be lucky enough for someone to extend your contract. You might be lucky enough to get an employment when you are there, because when you're in the ground, it's easier for you to go searching around, network with people, and then you can leave knowing you have another job to come back to, because it's always a good idea to leave and then you get your new work permit and then you come back into that country. And this always promotes good practice, even within countries. Surviving in Sweden when you don't know the Swedish language might be difficult for you. So what I always advise is, if you get an offer of employment, or if you're actually looking to really go and work in Sweden, one of the best things to do is to actually try and learn the Swedish language. And one of the best places to learn is, of course, Duolingo, that people use, and then you learn a few words that you can use. Even when your employer is speaking to you, they feel like you're making an effort. And this one we spoke about in the Czech Republic jobs, any other places, Luxembourg. Go watch those videos and then learn how you can also immigrate to these places. And then, of course, find the one that really works for you and then start applying for work from these places. Now, finding work in Sweden. One of the best places to start is, I had spoken about this when I spoke about Malta, the EURES portal. You go into the EURES portal and find different jobs that have been posted by employers from different places in the EU, and you can specifically search for jobs in Sweden. And then in the EURES portal as well, you can find jobs posted by Swedish employers on the Arbetsförmedlingen. This is the Swedish Public Employment Service. It's called the Arbetsförmedlingen. Arbetsförmedlingen, which is the Swedish Public Employment Service has its website, Platsbanken, which is like the job bank for Canada. Then this is where you're going to find different employment opportunities. Now they will be in Swedish, most of them, but you just right click, use your computer, don't use your phone, right click, translate to English, and then from there you can see where you need to upload your CV, and then just easy apply to different categories. If they're in Sweden, it's Swedish, and they say Swedish, you have to know how to speak Swedish, then that's when you go and you start learning. Duolingo, you start learning, or Babbel, you start learning the Swedish language, and then from there, at least when someone interviews you, they feel like you're making an effort. Some of these people cannot find employees for certain jobs. We had spoken about people not being able to find employees because some locals don't want to do certain jobs. So if you know that you can do the job, if you cannot find a job in your country, then you would be interested in looking for these opportunities, learn a bit of Swedish, and then from there you pick up. Kenyans are very smart people and they learn languages very quickly. So I believe in you. Go and apply. The Platsbanken is the largest job website in Sweden. You don't even need to register. You just need to get on it, have a look, upload your CV, and then you get going. Now on the Platsbanken, you also have an option to make your CV public so that employers who are looking for people who have the qualifications that you have can find you and contact you directly. I think it's an amazing thing to explore. You just put yourself out there and then see what comes back. The other great website to use is LinkedIn. Of course, I've spoken about this, making your LinkedIn profile look appealing, look very nice, and then you start networking with people who are in Sweden, maybe people that you know. We always know someone who knows someone. And if you don't, you just start by looking for Swedish companies on the website, that's LinkedIn. See if anyone connects with you, see what they post, see if they post any vacancies, and that's where again you start. Another way is going onto these websites that we always speak about. There's Indeed.se, there's Monster.se, Metrojob.se, jobsafari.se. You can also find work by directly contacting companies that have vacancies. So you go into a company that you know is located in Sweden, for example, Assa Abloy, you check their careers site and then you contact them directly. Another way is through internship. Now again, the Arbetsförmedlingen, or the Swedish Public Employment Agency, they like to help people who are looking for work experience in Sweden. So if you're already a student there, that's a good place to start. And even if you're not, you can look at opportunities that the government are providing for people who are looking for internship. Now I'm going to be looking into these, and if I find any information, I'm going to post it for you anyway. So that's another thing to do is subscribe and then wait for these videos that I post, and eventually you're going to find something that will work for you. One of the biggest websites to use for looking for work is Career Builder. There's also Jobland, Blocket, Job Island, Net Jobs, and then there's Nitechnic. I hope I've said it correctly because that's how it's written. So get onto these websites, try and see what's available in your field of work. And if you're looking for seasonal work, of course look for seasonal work or temporary work and see what comes back to you. The world is your oyster. You can go for anything that you wish for. And that's all for Sweden for today. And I'm going to see you in the next video where we're going to speak about more in terms of working abroad, opportunities, scholarships, and all that. And I'll see you guys next time. So bye-bye.